Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and distinguished guests. On behalf of the state of Illinois, Governor Bruce Rauner, and the Illinois Department of Veterans Affairs, we wish to welcome you to the State of Illinois Veterans Patriotic Volunteer and Appreciation Award Program. Thank you for joining us here today as we honor the second quarter awardee, Mr. James Hobson.
This is great. I'm so glad the governor is doing this. I've had the privilege of knowing Jim Hobson, Sergeant Jim Hobson, for about 39 years. Two quick things. Number one, we're honoring Jimmy because he was a war hero in Vietnam. He sacrificed his life. Unfortunately, like many young people coming out of the city who were poor, about the only way to escape that poverty was to go into the war. But he became a war hero, and he never lost anyone in his command. Secondly, his commitment to his country is extended as being one of the most outstanding park supervisors in Chicago's history. He's not just the godfather to my kids, he's actually been the godfather to really thousands and thousands of kids who've had a wonderful experience because of his leadership, and keep in contact with him, as Tiki is here today, came all the way from Wisconsin to join the celebration. So, Jim, you deserve this award. One of the most patriotic Americans anyone will ever meet, sacrificed his life to serve his country. So thank you and congratulations, Jim.
David Orr talked about godchildren of Jim. I've been one of the students who grew up with Jim. Actually, 25 years ago, Jim was my park supervisor when I was a rec leader here at at Garfield Park. So I have a long history with this man. He is a great public servant. I don't know anybody who cares as much about the children here in the Garfield Park community, and actually the children across the city of Chicago, than Jim. He's here rain, sleet, snow, and the reason he's here is to support these babies in the Garfield Park community and the babies in the city of Chicago. And so I'm just honored, privileged, and humbled to be here with a great public servant like Jim Hobson. Thank you for all that you do, and thank you for what you do here for the Chicago Park District.
Jim is an active member of his community and has been instrumental in creating safe spaces for recreational, sports, and after-school programs at Kiwanis and Garfield Park. Whereas Jim continues to answer the call of duty by leading and mentoring community youth for the past 37 years while in service to the Chicago Park District. Whereas the Illinois Department of Veterans Affairs is proud to celebrate the continued commitment of Illinois heroes, it is proud to honor Mr. James Hobson. Whereas the state of Illinois publicly honors Jim on this 22nd day of March 2018. Therefore, Bruce Rauner, Governor of the state of Illinois, does hereby recognize Jim Hobson and hereby encourage all citizens to honor and support his commitment and service to community.
I want to recognize my wife, Nancy Wheating, standing. Thank you. 42 years. Next to her, the mother of my 4 godchildren, Loretta Lemore, Jojo. And of course, I want to also recognize my dearest friend in the world, who I met when I came home from Vietnam. And it's been 50 years, David, 50. He and I have done a lot of things together, especially up in the North of Howard community of Rogers Park. This was a challenge. This was a great challenge when I came here in 1990, but 1980 to 1990 was the challenge of my entire career. It stands alone as the greatest triumph in my career. Bringing Kiwanis back together, bringing the community back together, providing programs, removing the gangs, removing the drugs, removing the killing, removing inactivity, and replacing it with cold, hard programming, and a love and a passion for the people of Rogers Park. Between 1981 and 1990, we never had another problem. It was recognized by Mayor Daley on June 28, 1990 as the best park in Chicago. So it goes from the worst to the best. So it will always be part of my life. I'm very honored and privileged to receive this great honor, and I will continue to try to represent myself as a veteran and as a United States citizen. I told, all the way from that day in 1968, I said I'd do the best I could. I want to thank the governor, his representatives, and all of my friends, all of my co-workers for giving me this opportunity to stand before you today and receive this great honor. It's a great, great honor. You know, I'm a three-time Hall of Famer, but I'm also a three-time Citizen of the Year. So I want to talk about that Citizen of the Year very quickly. In Rogers Park, with a population of about 55,000 people, on my last day of employment there, I was recognized as its Citizen of the Year. Also, a second Citizen of the Year from that same community. So this means an awful lot to me, but I go back to Kiwanis Park, where the challenges were astronomical, almost impossible to overcome, but we did. And it was with my dearest friend in the world, David Orr, that we met the challenge and overcame those obstacles. So I want to recognize my dear friend of 50 years again, David Duval Orr. Where are you at? Come here. We fought the good battle up there. Come here, come here. We fought the good battle up there in Rogers Park. Three-time alderman, four-term Cook County clerk, the vice mayor of Chicago, interim mayor of Chicago. The man has done it all. And of course, he is a professor at college. So I want to thank him. It was a great ride up there, and I'll always forget it. Thank you, David. Love you. Come here. All right. Thank you, everybody. Love you. Thank you for coming out. God bless America.